The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Good evening and welcome to Illuminating the Paranormal, opening your mind to the possibility. How is everyone this evening? Hope all of you are well. I'm in the Midwest and thank you, Lord, there is no snow yet, just nice and cold out here, but we're used to that. And I have tonight with me someone who is a friend. We actually met out there on the circuit there, hitting all the different paranormal conferences. And with me tonight, I have Cheryl Lynn Carter. And Cheryl is a psychic medium, a remote viewer, an Usai Reiki master. She had her first paranormal experience at the age of 4, and she has since then become a paranormal and historical researcher. Her passion for one haunted location gave her the opportunity to appear and consult in Chris Holton's Haunted Earth paradocumentary on YouTube, and it's called A Haunting at Bachelor's Grove, and that is one of the most haunted cemeteries in the Midwest, and yes, I've been there, and it's freaking awesome. Cheryl is also an experiencer, as well as a member of MUFON and CE5. She has served as a consultant for Thomas Conwell's book, They Are Here, Central U.S. UFOs. Cheryl has had a role in films, Rosalie, winner of the Best Horror Film at the 2019 Las Vegas International Film Festival, and The Evil of Nowhere. She is featured in the upcoming Booth Brothers docu-thriller series, The Attached. Welcome, Cheryl. How are you this evening?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. Doing really, really well. I am so glad to have you here. You and I have seen each other for years. I can't count how many times we've been almost basically either side by side or across from one another at these things at our tables. But, having a good time, you know?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Always.
Oh, yeah. I know you like to do a lot of the investigations if they have some attached to the Paracons. I occasionally get to go, but being a vendor, that doesn't always afford me the chance to do that because I have to be there bright and early in the morning, and that doesn't always work well with those late nights or early mornings and 3 hours of sleep. So occasionally you'll see me there, but not all the time. So things have been good for you lately?
Oh, yes. Very, very.
Good. I know you have. Now, the book that I just recently got and have been reading, I believe is your last book that has come out, Dimensions, Mysterious Triangles of the U.S. Is that correct? Is that
Correct.
Your last one?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell our listeners what that's about?
Well, everyone has heard about the Bermuda Triangle, and right in the continental United States, I have found 10 other mysterious triangles that are even more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle.
Wow. That is cool.
The Bermuda Triangle doesn't even compare to some of these.
Yeah. I realize that. I was reading some of the in the book, and the one that really, I guess, intrigued me, and I kind of marked and wanted to talk to you a little bit about, was in the chapter of, let me see here, it was the Lake Michigan Triangle, since that's the lake nearest me. And
yeah, me too.
yeah. you had said in here that to date, almost 40 planes have vanished in that area.
Right.
I was just floored. I was like, 40 planes? Does the Bermuda Triangle even have that many? I mean, my goodness.
That's what I'm talking about, that we have so much more right here we never knew about.
I was just 40 planes. And nobody has any idea where they've gone. They know the prior, what's happened prior to these planes taking off, or sometimes even when they're in the air, and then they just never get to the other side, or they never get over the water. They just disappear. And now, do they seem to have any sort of thoughts or ideas, scientifically wise, as to what may be going on? I mean, have you been able to find anything about that?
I mean, some people might think, the planes crashed, they're in the water, and there's been lots of missing ships too.
Okay.
And yes, there could be some ships under the water, but a lot of these ships that are missing, they never found them, or they found the ship and all the people were just gone.
Yeah, I was reading that. That just crazy. I just can't believe some of the stuff that has gone on, and so close to home. Makes me never want to go up there again. But just wild things. Now, one of the things that I was reading that I also wanted to talk to you about was the Ojibwe, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, spoke about a great serpent in the lake that possessed mystical powers. That was what I was like.
That's what the natives thought, that maybe that's what was, eating the ships or something. Mm-hmm. But there was one ship there where the captain, they had just gone through the water through a really icy strait, and everything was pretty easy now going. And he says, "I'm tired. I'm going to go into my room and sleep. Wake me up when you're heading back to shore." Mm-hmm. So he went in his room, locked the door, and they came down to get him as they were getting closer to land. And he didn't answer his door. So they broke in, and he was not in his room. He had disappeared from his room.
While on board the ship with his door locked?
Yeah, behind a locked door, yes.
Wow. It's just truly mysterious type stuff like that happens. And these triangles are all over the place. So, because I was mostly intrigued about the one with Lake Michigan because being so close, but you have so many different ones that are in here in this book. There's one in Alaska, one in Bennington, Big Lick, Bridgewater, Coudersport. Is that how it's pronounced? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Little Egypt, Nevada, and Ossipee. Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've never heard of Little Egypt, and I lived in Illinois my whole life, and the tip of Illinois is called Little Egypt.
Well, I actually did read that chapter because we actually have right here in Indiana, we have one too that's called Little Egypt, but it's Little Egypt Cemetery, and I'm going, that would explain all the weird crap we have around there, but it's a different Little Egypt.
Yeah, and I've been down there because there was a ghost town by Cairo, and when you go down there, all the cities have like Egyptian names to them. And I thought that was kind of weird, And so then when I'm writing the book, I'm going, oh, this is all part of this triangle with mysterious things. And part of the triangle, I got to go here last summer too. It's called Cahokia Mound. It's this big native. It's like a city, and it was almost like the Mayans. They had built big pyramids.
Wow! And now is
beautiful.
This?
I went there. It's just beautiful.
And is this Southern Illinois? Correct?
Yes, Collinsville.
Oh, okay. That is one that is on my list to visit. So at some point in time, I got to get down there. So yeah, I mean, I hit Mattoon. I think that's as far south in Illinois that I've gone because I end up going over there at Silcon all the time. But At some point in time, I am going to have to get down there and see the mounds. I hear that they're pretty, it's kind of one of the natural wonders of the world. I guess I really should make the effort to get down there to see them and get to experience them. So that would be awesome. I know
this is
you
only
also,
a part of it that's left.
I know.
Part of it that's left. I mean, it had to be humongous, because I guess farmers probably going, I got to plow this and make a field,
yeah.
But the one that I walked up, it's called Monk's Mound, and it's as tall as a 4-story building.
Whoa!
And you can walk up. I forgot how many steps it has. You can. It's not bad walking up, really. You get paid yourself. And when you get to the top, there's actually a vortex that's going through it, and you can feel it when you get on the top. There's a vortex there. So they knew where to build these things.
Mm-hmm. Now, has anybody ever gone inside the mound? Is there stuff inside there?
I think there were some people buried in there. Mostly it was like a ceremonial. They think that's probably where like the chief lived up on top.
Okay.
But that's where he lived. But there are some of the other mounds, some are ceremonial mounds. Some are sacrificial mounds. I mean, there's signs of human sacrifice there, like the Aztecs and the Mayans did.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. There's one grave that's called the Birdman, and actually they think that this Birdman came from the stars. So here you have your alien connotation.
Because isn't there are drawings in, is it South America or Mexico, where it looks as though there is someone that has a Birdman head with wings, but it looks like he's got something mechanical on him, and it's drawn on walls, correct?
Right, you see this all over, and some people say, oh, it's a Thunderbird, but when you look more at it, it doesn't look like a Thunderbird.
Yeah, pretty sure Thunderbird didn't come with mechanical pieces, Even
the face, even the nose on it's not the nose. It's a different kind of nose on it. It's not a Thunderbird.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable. The stuff that is out there, and so many people, no matter where you live, these things are there, and it just takes a little bit of time to research and find them. But thank you for bringing out these books, because this is just really cool to find out about this stuff right in my own state, or the state right next door. I love the fact that you mentioned the dog man, that they wonder if that also could be another reason or something that might be attributing to people disappearing within the Michigan Triangle. Mm-hmm. The dog man seems to be something that's big in Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. We don't allow them down here in Indiana, so we've never been down here to my knowledge. We'd probably make him get a license. Yeah, Bigfoot we do. Yes, we do. That we do. I know that, and people say, well, Dogman, that's just like, Sasquatch or Bigfoot. No, it's actually a little bit different.
It's different.
Do you want to describe that for people to help so they can understand the difference between a Dogman and a Bigfoot?
A Dogman looks human, but it's got like a dog face.
Okay.
And it's a Sasquatch is a big hairy creature. They don't look the same at all.
Right. I think some people have even said that it looks as though it were somebody who was caught halfway between changing and just stuck.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half and half, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. Just the things that are out there. Now, besides the book that you currently have out, your newest one, The Dimensions, you also have other books out. I know Whispers Beyond the Grave. Was that your first book?
Yes. It was kind of like an autobiography, because I started telling about how I had my first experience when I was 4, and then a little bit after that, and then I did a lot of my paranormal investigations in the book.
Okay, so that's what that one is about. Now, I know that you also have a couple other books out, and it's part of a trilogy, and the first two books are already out. Do you want to talk about those with our audience?
Yes, it's my Darkness trilogy, and they're kind of dark short stories, like Stephen King, Edgar Allan Poe. They don't have happy endings. They're like Stephen King. They don't have happy endings.
Well, real life doesn't always have a happy ending either. So,
And one thing I like to do, I've had people read them and they say, "Well, I thought I knew how the story was going to end, and all of a sudden you turned around and went the other direction." So I guess I did my job there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't want you to know what the ending is, because that's not the ending.
True.
The first one's called Fear the Darkness, and the second one is The Edge of Darkness, and the third's going to be Embrace the Darkness.
Nice. Now, all of your books can be gotten on Amazon, is that correct?
Yes.
Good. Because I know that's where I found my first one, the Dimensions book, which I really liked. So that's good. That's good. I like that. Now, I know you and I were also talking prior to the show beginning. We were also talking about another book that you were currently working on, and it's about ley lines, something I love to get into also. I love doing the ley line stuff and finding out where they're at. So you are currently working on that one. Can I ask where so far, though, because I know you're not finished the book, where is one of the places with ley lines that really interests you that you want to visit and investigate?
I think I'm going to call it Earth Energies. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
Well, the chapter that I'm working on right now, I've already been to this place, and I can't wait to go back. It's called Serpent Mound. It's in Ohio, in Peebles, Ohio. And it's not Indian mound. It's an earth effigy in the form of a big snake.
I've seen pictures of that.
The pictures do not do it justice. You have to stand there and look at this. It's beautiful. And I didn't know when I first went there was like this big crater up by the serpent's head, and I didn't know what it was. It's actually where a meteor hit the Earth millions of years ago.
Okay.
So the whole place is just charged with energy, and each turn of the serpent's back marks different phases of the moon and the sun. The solstice, the equinox, sunrise, sunset.
Wow. So it's they've really incorporated everything in there.
And my friend told me before I went there, he says, "Do you have a compass?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Not on your phone, a real compass with a needle." And I said, "Well, of course, I use that when I investigate."
Yeah.
And he says, "Take that with you, because your compass will go crazy when you go by the one curve," and we didn't know which one it was. And it's actually the first one. You're walking the compass as you're going north. When you get to the one curve on the serpent's back, the needle will turn behind you and tell you north is behind you.
Wow. So there's some sort of...
And you keep walking, and the compass will be perfectly fine. You get back to that spot. Nope, north is behind you.
Wow. So there's something magnetic pulling? Would that be right?
Well, gotta be. I mean, look at the meteor that smashed. And then I've also found out now that across the road, maybe 10 years ago, they woke up one morning and found this beautiful design in the field, a crop circle.
Oh.
And it's a geometric design, and it's some kind of symbol. I forgot what kind. It actually means something in sacred geometry, and it was pointing right at the serpent's head.
Wow!
So this was not a mistake. And there's also a ley line that comes from the crop circle over to the serpent mound.
Wild.
I can't wait to go back there now that I know all this stuff. I should bring all my equipment. All I had was a compass with me last time.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yes, take lots of pictures. Lots of pictures for us.
Oh, I have lots of pictures. I just don't have readings on equipment. I have lots of pictures of it.
Good. I want pictures. If anybody who is listening to our show, if you have ever stepped on or been near a ley line or a crossed ley lines, they are it's just, and if you can feel energy, it's just unbelievable. You even if you don't feel energy, a lot of times if you step on where a ley line is, the hair on your arms will kind of stand up with, kind of like when you get near one of those those balls that have like the lightning in it where you touch it and your hair raises up. It does that on ley lines too. Did you have anything like that happen to you when you were there?
Oh, yeah, I felt like I walked into a different world.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest energy, and even over on the right side past the mound, there's 2 burial mounds over there, too.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff there. It's just crazy, and I said, wow.
Now, Cheryl and I were talking prior to the show starting, and I was telling her that I am aware of crossed ley lines that are very close to where I live, and actually getting the chance to step on the exact spot where they cross. And I told her it was like stepping on a live wire. It's just literally all the hair on my arms stood up. The hair on my head, though it's already spiky, was starting to lift up. It's just amazing. So if you ever get a chance and you hear that there's a ley line somewhere, go over, take a moment and step on it. And if you can find out exactly where it's at, and just to experience it, because it's just wild. It's to try to describe ley lines for you. We know that as the Earth is spinning, it creates a magnetic pull. Well, as the magnetic pull happens, it's creating these ley lines, these back and forth lines, like how magnets pull one way and push the other. Well, those areas that are like that, where they're pushing and pulling, those are the ley lines, and it's just unbelievable, the energy that's there. So if you're an energy person or you just want to try something new, go give a ley line a try. So, well, Cheryl, you have just done so much. I love the fact that you are a member of MUFON, and you are friends with a good friend of mine, and I didn't even know it. You know Bill Konkoleski, don't you?
Oh, my buddy.
Yeah. I met Bill years ago.
We live in the same town. Yeah, he's the MUFON director from Michigan.
Yes, he is, yes. When I was with a ghost hunting group for years, part of our territory was in Michigan, and when we had stuff happen that we felt was more UFO versus ghost, of course I always called Bill, let him know. So I understand that you're also an experiencer, so maybe not so much as someone who you weren't abducted, but you have had some experiences. Do you want to talk about those with us?
Well, my first one was probably 6-7 years ago. I'm just walking in downtown Royal Oak in the middle of the afternoon, and I look up in the sky, and this saucer, silver-shaped, comes out of the clouds, and it's just hovering there. It's not making any sound. It's just hovering there. I'm going, oh, no. And I'm looking at people go, look, and nobody's paying any attention to me. And, of course, I didn't have a camera or a phone with me at that time. I always carry something with me after that day. And it was, there for about a minute, and then it just sucked right back into the cloud. It was the strangest thing. But now Bill and I have joined part of a CE5 group.
Yeah, explain what that is.
Okay, we get like maybe 10 people. It's not a big group. Like Dr. Stephen Greer has hundreds of people when he does this. We have small groups, and we get out close to the woods in the middle of nowhere. We have this special place where we go, and we get in a circle, We meditate, do a little bit of chanting. We have singing bowls that we use, for the vibration. And we just watch the skies to see if we can make contact with something. Well, the first time I went there's some woods behind us. And I looked and I saw all of a sudden, these two balls of light appeared, like someone turned a flashlight on, but we know we're all by ourselves. And they started moving back and forth. They started exchanging places. And we're still doing singing bowls, and the one started stretching up and swaying to the music. And I'm watching them for 20 minutes. And I'm getting pictures, and I should have done video, shame on me, but I have pictures. I'm trying to show a couple people. I go, look, and they go, yeah, and they're looking up in the sky. I go, nothing's happening in the sky. It's over here, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, it just, like, faded to black. And, I still don't know what it was. But they had to be a basketball size if we could see them that far away. Mm-hmm. And then the last time we went down there, I saw another in front of the woods again, a ball of light. So I took a picture of it, just a ball of light, get home, put it on the computer, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It looked like a little alien baby. I'm not saying it was, but that's what it looked like.
Wow.
With light all around it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know what it was. It wasn't just a ball of light.
Hmm.
And one of my friends went down into the woods another time. He goes, yeah, I saw a ball of light in the woods, and I watched it, and all of a sudden it just streaked up the tree and disappeared. And I said, what? Did you get a picture? No. I said, you didn't get a picture. At least I have some pictures. Yeah, whatever is in this woods. I mean, it's not there in the daytime because I go there early and walk around the woods. There's nothing in the woods. Something, we're calling something in.
Right.
Not saying it's alien, but we're calling something in those woods. But that looks like a little alien baby. It's crazy.
Mm. Awesome. Just
who knows?
Just the stuff we come across when we're out there, you know, and trying to figure out what's there. Or you get home, you look through your pictures, you look through your video, and then you really look into it. You lighten things up, you darken things up, just so you can get a better perspective of what might be there. And all of a sudden, you see it in the picture, and you're like, nope, I'm not seeing that. And you are. You don't know what it is, but you're seeing something.
I just had to enlarge it. I didn't have to do anything, just enlarge it. And oh, my gosh.
Wow. Oh.
You can see the face. I'll have to send it to you. You can see the face. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
So have there been any other times that you were able to see or experience UFOs?
Not so far, but those were pretty good times.
Yeah. I've had 3 so far. Just crazy stuff. You and I will just have to sit down and talk about those sometime. and all of them happened in Michigan. So it's all about Michigan, people. If you want a UFO, go to Michigan. That's where they're at.
Because last summer we went to our last CE5 event, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to go. And she goes, you got to come. The guys are coming, and they're filming for a documentary. Okay, I'm there. So so they had Ricky Butterfast there, and he was filming for CE5 documentary. So they interviewed me. I might end up on the cutting room floor. We don't know, but they interviewed me, and it was pretty good. But that night we didn't really see anything. And I go, because I showed them all my pictures, and they go, "Oh, that's great." Of course, nothing's going to happen when the camera crew's out there, right?
Oh yeah.
But we tried.
Yeah, been there, done that. It never happens. Nope.
You cannot make it happen on cue. No, you can't.
Nope.
And it depends too. We had a different group of people that night. I think it has something to do with your energy. When you're investigating that, you have the people with the right energy, you attract more spirits too. You know how that is.
Oh yeah. Oh, very much so.
And I think it's the same thing with CE5. You got to have that right energy.
Okay. Now, can I ask, what does CE5 actually stand for? Is there Is there
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Thank you. Now it all makes sense.
I should have said that.
That's okay. Now I understand.
That means when you're trying to make contact.
Okay.
When you were trying to make contact. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Cheryl. We are about at the time that we want to take a commercial break. So when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about UFOs. I actually have another question I wanted to ask you about that. So at this time, guys, you are listening to Illuminating the Paranormal on Para-X with our guest, Cheryl Lynn Carter, and we will be right
Your source for everything paranormal. Para-X.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para-X.
I found it at last! Marla's Sacred Cauldron. This is the legendary artifact that has been whispered about in hushed tones for hundreds of years, and now it's mine! All
mine! Who dares defile the sanctity of my castle walls? Step away from the cauldron, you impertinent, muddy-metaled maltworm.
Never! I've spent half my lifetime trying to discover your age-old secret of stirring the cauldron.
Oh, for Merlin's sake, that's no deep, dark secret. Just tune into the Para-X Radio Network Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern for more cauldron stirring than you can shake a wand at.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I don't need to take up any more of your time, so I guess I'll be going.
Not just yet. We've got a little unfinished business to take care of.
That's Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Para-X Radio Network.
And welcome back, everyone, to Illuminating the Paranormal. My name is Tina Marie, and my guest tonight is Cheryl Lynn Carter. Cheryl, before we went on break, we were talking about MUFON and you being an experiencer and also being a part of CE5. And you told us what CE5 stood for. Remind me again, what does that stand for?
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and that's when you're trying to make direct communication.
Okay, now
another being.
I know that there are, of course, all kinds of different experiences. Can you tell us what all the different kinds are for when it involves UFOs?
Right. If you see a UFO in the air, that's called Encounter of the First Kind. If something has landed on the ground and you see evidence in the ground, scorch marks, indents on the ground, things like that, radiation, that's Close Encounters of the Second Kind. If you have seen any occupants inside a craft, That's the third kind. The fourth kind is if you have been abducted. And then the fifth kind is if you're trying to make direct communication.
Okay. So there you go, guys. That's what all the different experiences are. So if you hear somebody say that they've had, an experience of the fourth kind, that means that they were abducted, or that and nowadays most people just call it an experiencer, somebody who has experienced that, but then they, tell you which kind of an experience it was. So that is really cool. I have always been a ghost hunter, but of course, you're outside, you are investigating, and occasionally you run into things that you go, pretty sure this isn't ghost related, that it just might be UFO related. So you get to know some of the other different.
Feel right.
No, and you get to know the other different investigators. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there is one that Bill and I and another ghost hunter and a cryptozoologist, I think his name was Joe, we actually went and did kind of like an unofficial investigation. It was more for our own knowledge, and we investigated a place in southern Michigan that I know that I've been there and multiple times, and there are it's got the trifecta. It has spirit people. You can see them with your own eyes. Out of the corner of your eye, you'll see them running past. You'll hear them walking behind you. The crushed stone you can hear it. If you stop, you can hear the crushed stone still moving, or leaves crunching behind you. We have always gotten fantastic EVPs. We've had spirit actually talk to us in our ears, get out, leave, go, that kind of stuff. We also know that there is a cryptid there, has been seen and experienced by quite a few people. And there has been, on at least 3 different occasions, there have been UFOs sighted. So, yeah, I told Bill about this, and he's like, okay, let's see. I'm free in 2 weekends. I'll be down. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So, yeah, when you're out there, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're Bigfoot hunting. I don't care if you're ghost hunting. I don't care if you're UFO hunting. You guys we're going to cross paths at some point in time. It's just inevitable, You get to know everybody in the biz. You and I.
It is kind of funny though that I do notice when I go to different cons that a lot of the paranormal people don't mix with the ufology people. I don't know why.
Why is that? Good Lord! I mean, we all are doing basically, the same thing here. We really are.
Isn't it all paranormal?
Yeah, we're all investigating. It's all under the paranormal umbrella.
Right,
come on, people,
right.
lighten up. Yeah.
I go, and I don't believe you don't cross. I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Oh, I know one of the times that really kind of just surprised me and kind of hit home was the time you were working with Dr. Chuck Kennedy, who will be my guest next week. You were at the Chicago Ghost Conference, and he had you wired to the hilt.
Oh, yeah.
And then you guys, was there a little girl spirit or a woman's spirit that you were speaking with or in contact with?
Yeah, he had explained to people that wired up. Wired. They would think I was drinking. No, he had my brain all wired, and he had the monitor up there with a computer screen, and he was mapping my brain as I was speaking to spirit to show how your brain waves change from your regular brain waves.
It was just amazing. I was just floored watching, scientifically proving that your brain does change. You're speaking to spirit, and here we are. We're actually able to map it scientifically to show to people that this is what happens when you talk to spirit. And I was like, they can keep saying that there's no proof, but, it keeps popping up proof here and there.
Well, I don't know what it was that day, because there was sure something going on that screen. That was amazing me, too, when I'm watching that.
Yeah, it was wild. That was quite an amazing weekend. There were quite a few of us. I believe you may have been one, too. Quite a few of us kept smelling something that was burning. We kept saying, what is that smell?
I kept saying, there's fire here, there's fire here. I think that I don't know if there was something burning or if it was premonition, because remember, the whole place burned down a week later.
Yeah. Actually, it was like 4 days later.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was something like a Thursday that it burnt down, and we were there Saturday, Sunday.
Was it premonition for all of us? I don't know. But
you were at a certain area, and we could smell something burning, quite a few of us. Not everybody, but quite a few of us. And it
was strong. It was a strong smell.
To me, it smelled like wires burning to me.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. So just crazy. The energy there that weekend was just unbelievable. And being able to see Dr. Kennedy show people scientifically that how your brain changes when you're speaking to spirit was just mind-blowing. That was the only way to say it. Oh, crazy. But now, Bachelor's Grove, I know you've been there and had some unbelievable experiences. You want to tell everybody about that?
I've been there many, 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 many times. Probably I've been there more than any place in the world.
Where is it at again?
I said I've been to Bachelor's Grove more than any other place in the world that I've investigated. I've been there so many times.
And now this is in Chicago or right on the outskirts of Chicago?
It's a suburb. It's in Malaysian. It's located in the Rubio Forest Preserve.
Yes, that's it. Yes. I knew you would know the words. I couldn't remember some.
People think it's just some cemetery sitting there. It's in the middle of a forest preserve.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, Chris Halton was coming over from the UK, and he wanted to do a documentary for his haunted YouTube channel about Bachelor's Grove. And he says, you want to come with me because you know this place with your eyes closed? And I said, oh, sure. So we're walking around that day, and we were doing investigating. We got lots of cool EVPs. I always get cool EVPs. They know me there. They're always talking to me when I come there. There's a guy by the fence that always talks to me. I don't know who the heck he is. Like the first time I went there, I didn't know any of the stories, and I was with my sister, and it was the middle of the afternoon, and I looked and I saw like a lantern in the woods. The sun's behind me. I said, who the heck's holding a lantern in the woods? So I snapped the picture, and I went around the back to see where this guy was, silly me, all by myself, didn't have any camera with me or anything. And as I'm going down the path, I see this white farmhouse on the left side. It's got a little front porch with a swing, and there's a light on in the window. And I said, what's with all the lights in the middle of the afternoon? And there's not supposed to be houses here. The town is all gone. The highway's gone. This is a forest preserve now. And I turned around to tell my sister, hey, look at this. And there was nothing there. Now, I didn't know about the disappearing farmhouse. I didn't know about the man holding the lantern in the woods, but I saw both things there.
Wow.
Of course, we didn't see that stuff when I was with Chris that day. But what we did see, we decided to go for a walk down the path outside the cemetery, which I never do because I always go there by myself. And I'm not walking through a forest preserve by myself. So we're walking through there, and all of a sudden, we hear tree knocking.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? And he says, somebody's chopping a tree. I says, no, I know what an axe sounds like, and we're in a forest preserve. I don't think anyone's chopping a tree. What is that? I want to say it's a squatch, but he wouldn't know what it was. And I says, I don't know. I wanted to be the one to get the picture. But the forest and the brush was so dense, it was kind of on a slide, and I tried to get in there. I said, now you're going to fall on your face. And I said, no, I'm snapping pictures. Didn't get anything. Finally, it stopped. And we go, okay. So we kept walking to the edge of the path. When we got there, we saw 2 structures that are like Bigfoot nests considered.
Uh-huh.
I'm going, oh, gee, what did we hear back there? So we turned around and came back and got to the same spot, and we hear the tree knocking again. And you can hear it in this documentary. You can hear the tree knocking.
Oh, good.
And we were right by the creek, but it had been dry that summer, so there was no water in it. So, of course, they're going to build their nest by the water.
Yeah.
And so we're standing there, and it stopped again. And the next thing we know, something walked between us. You couldn't see it. It smelled so bad.
Oh.
And it walked into the creek, which is, I think, that Bigfoot is interdimensional. That's why we could not see him. He was right in front of us. That's just my opinion.
Now, I think that is something that I'm leaning more and more towards too, because how people follow them. They're within, so many feet of them, and they just walk behind a tree and then they're gone. How does a big creature like that just disappear? They don't.
Right. And it walked between us. You could feel something, but you couldn't see it. It was invisible. Or maybe he just turned invisible. I don't know. But there was something that walked between us.
Yeah. Now, just a few minutes ago when you were talking about, Bigfoot structures, if anybody has ever gone to, someone who goes and gives a talk on Bigfoots and stuff, one of the things that they will tell you or show you if they have the pictures is Bigfoots do make structures in the woods. Sometimes they're not so much to stay in so much as they're kind of like signs to one another. And some of them are like cross pieces of wood that are 8-foot trees that a human is not going to be picking up are knocked over and put in a certain configuration that, like I said, isn't so much for them to live in as it's a sign for other Bigfoots or other troops that this area is owned by, or this is our land, or come this way for whatever the sign means. But yes, the Bigfoots have all kinds of different things that they build in the woods. They have different calls. They do tree knocking. So yes, if you get a chance, check it out.
It was right by the creek there, so they were telling them, "Here's water."
Yeah. Just. There's so much. The signs are out there, people. Why are you not seeing them?
And I didn't know anything about this, and I'm telling someone about it, and they go, well, "That's a Bigfoot hotspot." And I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. Thank you for letting me know.
That's what the grove is. I did not. I always stick around in the cemetery. I don't go out into the forest. I go, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was that same year that we were both there. That truck had you all wired up. I think it was then that Dave and Ursula were both talking about how a group, no, I think it was the year prior, we were at that Irish restaurant pub thing. Anyway, they were talking about, because it was right next door to Bachelor's Grove, that a group the night before on Friday night, because this was Saturday we were there, had gone in, and it was somebody who had done it tons of times. I don't think it was Dave himself. I think it was one of his friends, had gone in with a bunch of people, and they had been there hundreds of times, and it was dusk, turned dark when they were in there, and they went to try and leave, and every time they went to leave, they couldn't find their way out, and yet they'd done it so many times. They knew the trails. They kept seeing lights in the woods, and they thought it were cars, and which would make sense. Okay, we're heading back towards the restaurant, we're heading back towards the road, and they kept heading towards the lights, only to end up back in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. So they what should have been, yeah.
Well, will get you.
I know. Well, I think it was supposed to be something all of like a 20, 25-minute walk from where their cars had been parked. And I don't think they originally were there at dark.
You park your car across the street and walk in 5 minutes. It's not very far in.
Yeah. I think they were on the other side and went from the woods in, is what they had done.
Okay.
And it took them like 2.5, almost 3 hours to get back out. Not counting the time that they were in.
They were seeing all the house lights and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's nothing there.
The whole settlement that used to be there.
It's just crazy things are out there. Just crazy. I know.
People like to play tricks with you sometimes.
They do.
They're still there. They have intelligent conversations with you when you go. You make sure you have your recorder because you get intelligent conversations. And they used to, a long time ago, they used to put down a dance floor on Saturday night, and they would have dances in the cemetery.
Well, yeah, people used to go and have picnics in the cemetery.
Right. They did dances. So this one time, I took my recorder. You got to know which questions to ask. And I said, hey, it's Saturday night. Is there going to be a dance tonight? And I have a woman say, they'll be dancing.
Oh, that is cool.
And another woman said, I almost fell off my chair last week. Kid you not.
Wow. See, the things you get when you're out there investigating.
They are intelligent. They're intelligent spirits there. They want to talk to you.
Well, you know what? They're just like us. They just don't have a physical body any longer.
Yeah. I don't know why they stayed there. I guess they just love that place. Because every time somebody comes in and destroys the markers and makes a mess out there, they get very sad.
No. Not
they
good.
vandalize that a lot, and they know that happened.
Yeah.
So I've got
not good.
Where they're going, it's a shame. I mean, they know.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Crazy. Well, I do have a question. I know I have seen a picture out there. I believe it was out on the internet for a while. It's a picture of you, and it looks like you are either overwhelmed or possessed. Do you know which picture I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You want to tell me the story behind that one?
Well, I was in this movie called Rosalie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually Rosalie's mother. That picture that you see, I was kind of fooling around with magic and stuff, and I don't know if I made a pact with the devil or something, but my child got possessed, and that's picture you see me is where I'm giving birth to the demon child, Rosalie.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't something that actually happened. It was part of the film.
No,
the reenactment. Yeah. Okay. Phew. All right. That's good to know.
I was wearing those were not my eyes.
Yeah. I was like, okay, she looks really possessed in this one.
I was.
You played your part well.
And I also got to play a creeper in that movie where I got to creep down the hall. That was fun.
Oh, cool. And you've been in a couple other films, The Evil of Nowhere and The Attached. Now, is the Attached is out now, isn't it? From the Booth Brothers?
Christopher just went to California today. He's trying to finish setting up the film. I wish he'd finally get this thing done. He took it out. He's producing it with another company, and he went out to California this week. No, it's not quite done. I guess it's getting ready. It's actually about, he went around the country to different haunted locations at events, and if you had somebody that bought something at an antique store or something and it had an attachment to it, or you went investigating somewhere and something followed you home, that is what this film is about, The Attached.
Okay, all right.
And he interviewed people. So he interviewed me because I had a spirit follow me home one time. It wasn't bad, but the spirit took a liking to me, and he couldn't stay. I had to tell him to go back. But it does happen. And then I also got to play a part. Somebody else was having visions, and then they would paint what they would see, and so they had me act out a scene of something that she saw about a creepy nurse.
Okay, so you're not only a psychic medium and a Reiki master, and you're an experiencer, and you part of MUFON and CE5. You're also an actress. Girl, you just living the dream.
I'm trying.
Oh, Lord. Just too good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Cheryl, we are getting down to the end here. So do you want to tell everybody where they can find you? And I do know they can get your books on Amazon. Is there another place we can get your books?
If you would like a signed copy, you can get it right from me, and you can message me from Facebook. I'm right there on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram, Cheryl Carter 417.
And you're on Twitter at Sister Moonbeam, correct?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay.
I have a website, www.CherylLynnCarter.com.
Good. And now, Dark Moon Press, do they produce your books? Is that who was doing
No,
it?
I'm a self-published.
You are wow, good for you, girl. Way to go.
Yeah.
I thought that you had been.
I tried dealing with two publishers, and they were him and hawing around, and I said, I want to get these books out here.
Yeah, no, I understand. So, well, we're running down here, getting the last minute or two, so I did want to let all of you know.
I'm an English major. I can do this myself.
There you go. Strong women unite. There we go. Cheryl, thank you for being on my show tonight. I really appreciate that. If anybody has any information for me or wants to ask questions, you can message me on my page here for Illuminating the Paranormal at Facebook.com there. I also have 3 other pages that you can find me at. You can find me on Facebook at Nature's Earthware, WARE. That's all my metaphysical jewelry, as well as Reiki classes. You can also find me at Heirloom Haberdashery. That's for all my steampunk jewelry and apparel. And 3 Sister Smudging for custom smudge sticks. So you guys can always find me there. If you have any questions, just let me know, and we will... I'll get right on that and get back to you guys and get your questions answered. If there's anybody you would like as a guest, please let me know. And just to let you guys know, next week is Dr. Chuck Kennedy, and he is part of the Psi Project. He's somebody both Cheryl and I know and have talked with and heard speak on many different occasions. So if you guys want to hear him, check back with us next week. Cheryl, again, thank you so very, very much. I really, really appreciate you being on the show. And will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Good. That's what I want to hear. So, all right, guys, really appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. Cheryl, I'll see you soon. You guys take care and have a great evening. Bye.